just shall live by faith. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath shewed it unto them.
Yeah, it's manifest in them. They already know it. Exactly.
For the invisible things of him things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and God has so that they were without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, this is the world today, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Now, I want to hurry up because I want, Derek, I want to thank Pastor George, because we have 5 more minutes. We'll be going off the air soon. I want to thank Pastor George, my co-host, D-Man for Christ. And by the way, I have to admit, and I want to tell you guys, it was D-Man's idea that we should contact Ray Comfort. D-Man, thanks for the great idea. John Moyna, thanks to John Moyna. Evan Nephilmfree, the famous Geerup also. 4G, who's calling in. And then there's still 5 minutes. If an atheist can call in and provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct, we'll put you on the line. This is not looking good for atheism.
And, of course, be here next week, too, for the premiere of Bold Truth Radio over on my channel.
Yes, Bold Truth Radio will do that. Make sure you guys download this show. Evan, would you talk a bit about, I got about 1 minute, Evan, and then I'm going to take us out. By the way, you guys, download this show. All of you guys that are on here with me, you have permission to go ahead and download the show and use the audio. Go ahead and do it. But I found this fascinating, Evan. We all know that Microsoft Windows is designed, it is totally proof of design. What did Bill Gates say about DNA or something like that about design?
Bill Gates said that DNA was far and away more complex than Microsoft Windows, which is the most complex code or thing, actually, ever devised by man. I wanted to ask Geerup a question.
Sure, go ahead.
He made a wonderful video recently wherein he describes an encounter he had with God, wherein God revealed himself to Geerup in an astounding way. Geerup, I want to ask you something, brother. Don't you believe that because atheists refuse to, because they can't, the Bible tells us about the unseen God, because they refuse to believe in the unseen God. Don't you feel that atheists cling to this idea that because they can't touch God, therefore we can't sense God, whereas we Christians like yourself know that we can spiritually sense God, and he's as real to us as the hand on our face? Don't you think they use this as an excuse, brother?
Yes, I do. I think that's an excellent topic to investigate further. The atheist/humanist, the skeptic out there, there's healthy skepticism, and we here, talking to each other, we're all skeptics. Ray Comfort is a skeptic. We practice skepticism. We don't believe everything we hear, but we do believe in the realities that surround us, and we believe in the things we can touch and feel and see. So when I look at a baby, I look into the face of the children that I have. I know that they are created beings. I can see the hand of a creator in them. DNA is information. So when we look at DNA, we can see that here is this information, so there must be an information giver. See, yes. But you're referring to the video I spoke of when God spoke to me. I heard God in an audible voice.
Right.
Now this is where God intercedes. He intersects in our lives in such a way that touches our 5 senses. This is a rare case. It only happened to me once, but nevertheless, it was a profound change in my life. It changed things, radically changed things. I must confess that I was a believer before this happened, and I was seeking God. So I think you have to have a heart towards God. I hear atheist after atheist say, "Show me God, show me God." They literally want God to somehow humble himself and make himself, come to, bow before these atheists, bow before these heathens, bow before these rebellious sinners. But that's not the way it works. If you want the presence, if you want to talk to the Queen of England, you have to come to her on her terms.
Exactly.
And such is the same with God. If you want to talk to God, if you want God, then you have to come to God on His terms.
They won't be
humble your heart.
will they?
No, you have to humble your heart. And if you truly humble your heart and seek after God, He's not far from you.
Now, on that note, this has been another edition of Shock Radio. I want to tell you guys, those of you that are Christians, those Christian men out there, rise up, O men of God. Do what you were called to do. God bless you guys, and Maranatha.
Men, we were not made to live like most men. We were made to fight. We were made to strive. We were made to work. We were made to conquer. We were made to give ourselves for something that is eternal. Adam was given the command to do what? To go out and subdue. To bring everything in creation in harmony with the will of God. To do all His governing, all His things within the context of God's will. Now we live in a fallen world that lives in darkness and death. The kingdom of the evil one spread abroad throughout the land. You and I were not called to play video games. We were not called to sit in front of a television set. We were not called to give ourselves to trifles. We were called to advance a kingdom. To live with a passion, to fight for Him. And to only every once in a while drop our swords and look up for a smile. I want to fight. I don't want comfort. I don't want ease in Zion. Because the kingdom of God is built not by those who rest easily in Zion, but by those who go out into the streets and fight. And the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are mighty. Intercessory prayer, the proclamation of the gospel, and sacrificial love. Men, rise up, O men of God. Do what you were called to do. Be valiant and strong. And know that it's going to cost you. You take your stand beside Jesus Christ and His cause, and you watch the devil come after you, buffeting you from the outside and from the inside. But that's what war is about. And so He has given us a great commission to pace a room at night saying, there is a place where He is not worshipped, where He is not worshipped. There is a place where He is not worshipped. I cannot sleep. There is a place where He is not worshipped. There is a place where the flag of Zion does not fly. That's what we were made for. To set aside our little temporal causes and to give ourselves to this one great battle